Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this tower pinwheel card. It folds flat to fit inside a standard envelope, but when it opens out it becomes a tower and a pinwheel, and it has 4 different versions of the same card. It's a bit like, this is a card that has no end. So it just goes round and round a center column. So without further ado, even though it looks quite complicated, it's surprisingly easy to make. So let me show you the ingredients that we need. First part is a piece of cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 11, and normally we would score that at 5 1/2 and fold it over. This is actually cut into 4 separate pieces, 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and that makes the main fins of the card. The next part we need are some basic white, which is a smaller layer down, so it's 4 by 2 1/2, and we need 3 of those. And the 4th one is actually just a piece of designer series paper. Again, it's 4 by 2 1/2, so 3 basic white ones and a piece of the designer series paper. And then these panels are 4 by 1 1/2, and there are 4 of them. And then the all-important piece is the tower part in the middle, and as you can see, it's got the matching designer series paper up the middle of it. So this is a piece that is 4 1/2 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at every inch. So when we go and we burnish them, it looks, to all intents and purposes, that we're building it inside out. But what we need to remember is all of these pieces are going to get covered, and it's the piece down the inside that needs to match. So we'll go ahead and run some adhesive. Oh, no, that's not that one. I'll run some adhesive down there, and then it just give it a quick burnish, make sure it's all even, otherwise it'll all be like gnarly and then it won't look so good. So this is the main body, and as you can see, it's got the designer series paper down the middle, and that's what makes the tower that everything spins around. So what we need to do is decorate the 3 white pieces, and what we're going to do is we're going to be using, the paper is the Joy of Christmas, which matches the Christmas classic stamps and dies. They're all in the same suite in the holiday mini catalogue. So I am going to start with the Deck the Halls page, and we will get some real red and stamp Deck the Halls in the middle, easy peasy. Then what we need to do is use the fern stamp and stamp some pine leaves around. So I'm going to be using the shaded spruce and the granny apple green just to get some depth, but the shaded spruce tends to be quite a strong dominant, I nearly said flavour, colour. So what we need to do is just stamp it off before we put it onto cardstock, so it looks a little bit less aggressive. And then we'll give that a good clean, and we'll bring in the granny apple green ink pad, and we'll put some lighter green elements around just to sort of give it some depth. This one doesn't really need to be stamped off because it's a much lighter ink colour, but we'll just go ahead and put some around so it looks quite nice and busy. So that's the first one done. Flip it over, and it is the designer series paper, so we'll line them up here. The next one is the Peace on Earth stamp, so we'll get Peace on Earth and we'll pop that into the middle. And then what we would do is we would take the shaded spruce and the holly leaves, stamp it onto some granny apple green, and using the dies run it through the die cutting machine But of course, thanks to the power of YouTube and Blue Peter and all that good stuff, here are some that I already did, just to save us having to wait for that process to be taken care of. So I'm just going to quickly stick the holly leaves in their corners. And then put the berries on. And I'm just going to use little dots of the liquid adhesive, because I find that works the best when you're trying to just get did I say minimal amount? Yeah, well, making a liar out of my own self. Let's just pop that on there. So pop the berries on. Yeah. While they are drying, I will get out the other little stamp. So I did a card recently and I found this little corner piece. I didn't even know it was in the stamp set originally, and I thought, oh, you are so interesting. And now I use it all over the place just because I think it fills in blank little corners so nicely. So that's the little corner piece done. And then fold it one more time. And then we've got Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. I think British people tend to say Happy Christmas more than Merry Christmas. It's quite a famous Beatles song, isn't it? So the Christmas in real red and the Happy in the Granny Apple green. One of the nice things about the acrylic stamps, the polymer stamps going on an acrylic block, is that you can actually build up phrases. And I tried to build this once, but because of the edging of the stamps, it was too far away. So I did two separate stamps, as you just saw. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do two separate ones, I'll do two separate colours. And it just makes it nice and easy and a little bit more colourful. So let's get these onto their reds. And then we can get assembling the whole thing. So once you've got your fins built, it's just a case of putting everything in place. And like I say, it's not terribly difficult to make this card. I thought it was it's really quite a simple process considering how effective it looks. So there's the little signature panel. So here we go. Quick assembly. So we'll bring back in the box, and then what you need to do is put adhesive down one side up to the score line. So just, I don't know if you can see that in the light, just only on one of the sides. So let's follow the pattern as it goes around. So we just put it up against the score line and match the top and the bottom and press it into place. And then we'll go round one, and now we're going to put adhesive on here, and we'll deck the holes. So again, just up to the edge. And now you can see how it doesn't matter, oops, that we built the tower sort of inside out. And now we've got an edge, we can go ahead and put one of the designer series panels on, and then flip it over, and this is the panel that's got the designer series. It's going to be like double designer series paper on this one. So we'll pop that into place, and a panel. And then last but not least, let's have some peace on earth, because that's rather a nice thing to want to wish for, especially right now. So we'll pop that into place and pop the panel on. And then of course you remember when we did the first one, it was only the first panel, so there wasn't an extra place. I can see I've got just, can you see that? There's just a little bit of the tower sticking out, so we'll just trim that off. This was the first panel to go on, so of course there wasn't the ones that had been running behind, and now there is. So we'll go ahead and we'll pop that last panel into place, and there you have it, the same card to the same snap. So like I say, it stands up and it gives you all these different views of the card. It folds flat to go in a standard envelope, and I think anybody would be happy and pleased to receive that as a card. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing. I like likes, I like comments. If you've got a comment or a question, please pop them in the description box below, or alternatively you can email me. A share is the ultimate compliment, because it means you like me enough to want to share it with all your friends and family. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, deck the halls and peace on earth and all those lovely things. And last but not least, thanks so much for watching.